I want to start with the fight we saw on Saturday over in the UK. Jack Catterall wins a technical decision against Harlem Eubank. This fight was stopped midway through the fight after a clash of heads that left Catterall with a nasty cut. Eubank Jr., or Harlem Eubank, I should say, had a cut of his own. But it was really the Catterall cut that I think did cause that fight to be stopped. That was the debut at 147 for Jack Catterall, longtime contender at 140 pounds. He's trying to make a run now at welterweight. Not a lot of action in that fight, Sergio. Did you learn anything about what Catterall's chances are in this new weight class?
No, I didn't learn much because look, I appreciate Jack Catterall for being a short, 5'7", experienced, very slight southpaw. I know why he gives a lot of guys issues at 140. I mean, he should have become undisputed, man. That was his night against Josh Taylor. But let's not go backwards. He's only lost against the best, and he does it because he knows how to fight small. He's 5'7". He doesn't have a long reach. He has quick feet. He knows how to control range. And from that left-handed angle, he does it real sly, man. That's why they call him El Gato, the cat, right? He knows how to pounce in and out. But that's at 140, Mannix, where he had success. At welterweight, at 147, when you got longer reach and taller fighters like Brian Norman, who doesn't have the height, but he's going to have the reach. Brian Norman has a middleweight reach at 72, 73 inches. And they have Ryan Garcia, almost 5'11", Mario Barrios, 6 feet, and on and on. You're going to either get really tall fighters, that's going to be hard to close that range that Catterall's so good at, or long fighters with power like Norman. Norman's not a tall fighter, but he has long arms, and they're explosive and powerful at that end of the power. So I don't like Catterall moving up because he wasn't a puncher at 140, and he's definitely not going to be a puncher at 147, similar to Devin Haney. So I think we've seen the best of Catterall at 140, and it's a damn shame he doesn't go down in history as undisputed at 140.
Well, you're thinking Catterall is going to take on one of these big challenges at 147, whether it's Brian Norman or, let's say Mario Barrios beats
so what? He's moving up not to become champion?
Hold on. Will you just let me get to the point? Like, I'm the one on this podcast that does actual research, and the research that I've done shows that the IBF title that Boots Ennis is likely to vacate could be fought for by the two highest ranking contenders, which is Paddy Donovan and Lewis Crocker, who are both, both UK fighters, and they both are 5'9". Okay, so it's like neither one of these guys is some kind of Goliath that would be like overwhelmingly intimidating to Jack Catterall. Neither one of these guys has really proven that they are great at the highest of levels. So if Paddy Donovan or Lewis Crocker wins the IBF version of the 147-pound title, and Eddie Hearn can find a way to make Jack Catterall against the winner of that fight, that's a fight I think Catterall can win. Yes, I don't think he can beat Brian Norman. I don't think he can beat one of these big guys. But you have to look at the entirety of the division, Sergio. It's not just a few guys. There's an IBF title that is going to be at stake in the coming months. And the winner of that fight is not going to be at a significant size advantage over Jack Catterall. Moreover, like, the fight that Jack Catterall should be looking at right now isn't even a title holder. Like, Jack Catterall and his team should be banging on the door of Josh Taylor and asking if he still wants to fight. Like, Josh Taylor right now is on a 3-fight losing streak. It looks like he's at the end of the line. He lost to Eko Asuman in his last time out. But if Josh Taylor wants to give it one more go, there's probably still a little bit of money to be made in the rubber match between Catterall and Taylor. The first fight, as you noted, very controversial. Catterall won the second fight clean, but it's not like Josh was completely outclassed in that fight. He had some competitive moments. Remember, Bob Arum jumped into the ring and declared British judges were awful after that fight. So if I'm Catterall, I'm looking to make a trilogy fight against Josh Taylor, which can make me a bunch of money. And then if Crocker and Donovan fight for the vacant belt in a rematch before the end of the year, then I would try to take on the winner of that, which I think is a reasonable path for Jack Catterall to make a bunch of money and to win a world title.
You may do research or study and do all that things, but to quote Oscar Wilde, Chris Mannix, education is an admirable thing, but anything worth knowing, especially in boxing, cannot be taught. And that's where I come in. I'm teaching you the sweet science, right? So listen up. No one wants to watch Patty and Crocker. That sounds like an Irish bar somewhere in your side of town.
Okay, hold on. We've already seen it, though. Like, they've already fought each other. They fought each other back in March. It was a controversial DQ win for Lewis Crocker.
Okay, so then you want a guy like Jack Catterall to stay regional, to stay domestic. You don't want him to be international and try to do something great.
It's not regional if you win a world title. Why are you saying it's regional? He's fighting for a world title. If he fights the winner of Crocker and Donovan, it's for a world title. There's nothing regional about that.
Yeah, but you're already you're presuming this is if. You're already talking about ifs. I'm talking about, hey, let him come over here and try to make a statement against a big champion because he has the footwork. He has the experience. The man knows how to fight, all right? So Catterall knows how to fight. I'll put him as an underdog against every fighter, all right? Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia, all these guys are going to be towering over him, especially the reach. Brian Norman Jr., I can go on and on and on. He's going to be the underdog. So if he ever wants to do something great on international level, which is what I want him to do because I think he's good enough, then he needs to cross over here. But if you want him to stay regional and go
against who? Like, you're not following the landscape. Like, Mario Barrios has a fight set. I don't know if you remember, we talked about it last show, but Brian Norman has a fight set in November. What do you want Jack Catterall to do? Go over to the U.S. and fight like
Rolly Romero?
Why not? Why would Rolly Romero fight Jack Catterall? Why would Rolly Romero fight Jack Catterall?
Rolly Romero will fight anybody, but
no, he won't. He won't for money. He'll fight for money. Jack Catterall doesn't bring a dime to the table in the U.S. Rolly Romero is probably.
Send Rolly Romero across the pond. I'm sure every American fighter dreams of fighting across the pond, including one of the best fighters in the world.
But Jack Catterall is not Anthony Joshua. Like, Jack Catterall is not what Amir Khan. Like, he's not a huge ticket seller. Like, he does do a good crowd in Manchester.
5,000 seats against Harlem Eubank.
Okay, but I know you're not this dumb, right? Like, you're not going to sit there and say like 5,000 seats is the same thing as 20,000. Okay, you think Rolly Romero is going to come over there and help sell a bunch of tickets for a Jack Catterall fight? Come on, stop.
Arnold Barboza helped sell 10,000.
I actually don't know for what the final number was for that.
Well, then do your research, pencil neck.
You just made it up. You just made the number up. You just made it up.
It's a calculated guess.
It's not a thing. Look, I think what Matchroom is talking about with this Crocker-Donovan winner makes a ton of sense because it's two UK-based fighters going up against another UK-based fighter. That would draw a big crowd over in the UK. And look, let's say best case scenario, all goes well for Jack Catterall. He beats Josh Taylor. That'll increase his profile. He beats the winner of Crocker against Donovan. That'll give him a world title. And then he can follow the Sergio Mora plan of stupidity and come over to the U.S. and challenge one of these world champions in a unification fight in 2026. Whether it's Haney or Norman, maybe he can take on Rolly then as a world champion. Like, then the door opens, Sergio, to other bigger and better things.
Just for your ignorance, I'm going to go to Boston, your side of town, and open a pub called Crocker and Donovan's just to shut you up. No, I think these are terrible ideas. I like the fact that Catterall wants to face the best fighters. He did it in the past. He wants to do it in the future because he knows he can hang with the absolute best. Maybe if he gets an opportunity to pick up a vacant title, then he can look backwards at the guys that you're talking about. But to me, it doesn't pique my interest. I don't care. If he wants to be an international champion, he wants to fight an international fight. If he wants to keep it on that side across the pond against these fighters that no one, they're not known, Mannix. They don't have a championship belt. They're going to be fighting for a vacant world title. That's not the way you become champion, especially.
You just said Catterall should fight for a vacant world title.
But not across the pond with these with British fighters, with Irish fighters. I think he should come across over here and make a statement out here. I mean, he has a Latino nickname, El Gato. Come over here and fight a Mexican. Come over here and fight an American. Come over here and really make a statement because he has the talent, he has the experience, he has everything that he needs, and he just came up short a couple of times in his career. It's not like he got knocked out or overwhelmed or beat up. They're competitive losses. This is a 31-year-old fighter that knows how to fight, man. He knows how to box. He knows how to give anyone headaches, whether it's across the pond or over here in the States. I just wish they will come over here and make a splash. That's all I'm saying.
I want you to promise me something. I want you to promise that you will never go into boxing management, because you would be the worst boxing manager. The people that are telling Jack Catterall that he should pursue a third fight against Josh Taylor and then pursue the winner of Crocker against Donovan and then look for a mega fight, maybe in the US, maybe still over in the UK, those people are smart. The people telling him to come over to the US and fight Rolly Romero if Rolly would ever fight him, which he would never do, or any number of American-born 147-pound contenders, that is horrible. I'm going to use the Canelo voice. Horrible advice. Horrible. You are a horrible business manager.
You're telling me that a fight between Jack Catterall and Ryan Garcia is not an international big fight?
Why would Ryan Garcia do that? Why would he do that?
Because Ryan Garcia is coming off a loss. His stock dropped. Why wouldn't Ryan Garcia
Not far enough to challenge Jack Catterall at 147. There is no upside to Ryan Garcia doing that. Ryan Garcia either comes back in his next fight against a punching bag, or he does a rematch with Rolly Romero.
And you think people want to pay Ryan Garcia coming against a punching bag? Rolly Romero.
Do you think there's money in a Ryan Garcia Catterall fight? What world are we living in? There's no money in Ryan Garcia against Catterall.
You're telling me that fight won't sell in the East Coast and Boston and New York?
It will not sell in Boston. It will not. I am from Boston. I'm sitting in Boston as we speak. That fight will not sell in Boston. It could sell.
Garcia across the pond. Take Ryan Garcia across the pond. I'm sure he'll put, more than 10,000, 15,000 people. Just his name alone would bring that many. They can probably fill up a little stadium out there. That's the way to go, man. Manager, you're telling me I'm a bad manager. That's the way to go. Both these guys are coming off where they need to make a statement. Ryan Garcia needs to make a statement. And he said it plenty of times. He loves fighting southpaws. He knocks them all out. He has a lot on his record. There's a southpaw has never been knocked out. That's what I think. And the winner gets a real title shot against a real big name, not against a Patty and Crocker. That's how you want a title shot.
But Sergio, I don't dispute that as a boxing person, I'd be interested in a Ryan Garcia versus Jack Catterall fight.
Oh, now you're changing your tune.
No, I'm not. Let me finish my sentence. I'm simply pointing out that Ryan Garcia, who hit rock bottom against Rolly Romero, who looked as bad as he's looked in years, who's obviously still dealing with stuff mentally and physically, why would he want to take on a tricky, cagey southpaw who has fought some of the best in the world? Why would they ever do that? No manager in their right mind would suggest that to Ryan Garcia. Your trainer, Dean Campos, would not suggest that for you, Sergio Mora, to take on that kind of guy. None of the managers or promoters, the dozens of them you've had in your professional boxing career, would suggest that as a good idea for you. And if they did, you'd tell them they were crazy and you would never do it. So I can't.
All right, manager of the year. Just give me one name for Ryan Garcia and one name for the original question that we just had against Catterall. Who should they pick next?
Ryan Garcia should come back against an opponent that he can flatten. I don't know who that is. Put him in the top 15, top 20, someone that he can flatten. Somebody the equivalent of Javier Fortuna, who Ryan fought a couple of years ago.
Oh,
a former champion coming up in weight, very vulnerable. And then you push for a rematch against Rolly. You see where you are against Devin Haney and go that route. That's the pathway for Ryan Garcia.
And Catterall should face Patty or Crocker.
All right, it's Patty Donovan or Lewis Crocker, the winner of that fight. Patty O'Crocker is not an actual person. All right, we're moving.
Move on, Boston boy.
All right.